the biggest regular season matchup of the season thus far, your Buffalo Bills come out on top, winning 28-21 over the Kansas City Chiefs. And to be honest with you guys, the game's final score is not indicative of how this game went. I thought the Bills kind of dominated for the Chiefs for the most part. That's what we're going to break down, as your Bills got some great news, but they also got some really bad news that we'll talk about later on today's show. As you're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports, I am your host, Tyler Smith, and Buffalo kind of imposed their will on Kansas City here. Got a little scary down the stretch. Matt Prater ended up missing what would have been a dagger field goal for Buffalo. Gave the Chiefs 22 seconds, and we know in a short time frame, everybody's going to hold their breath when the Chiefs had the football, but they were able to make the stop at the end of the game. It was awesome. We saw great play from really some under-the-radar players on this Bills team. Cole Bishop, who's had struggles all season long, had a really great game. Max Hairston had his first career INT, and he looks like a player on this Bills defense. But we got to talk about the man under center, number 17. We got 17, and you do not. I mean, are you serious? 23 of 26, 273 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. 0 turnovers whatsoever from your Buffalo Bills today outside of a 4th and 2 that they did not convert. 3 total touchdowns. Josh Allen with 2 tush pushes at the goal line as well. There isn't a better quarterback playing right now than one Josh Allen. Has he the best overall statistical season? No. Has the pass game always been pretty? No. But we got 17 and they do not. And Josh, with the tight ends on the roster, made play after play. A couple of nice downfield shots to some of the receivers, but we'll talk about the receiving core in just a little bit. The way that the Bills made Patrick Mahomes' life uncomfortable in this game was fantastic. Sub 50% completion from Pat Mahomes. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, you didn't even get a touchdown through the air. Anytime you're going to produce a stat line like this for Patrick Mahomes, you're going to go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And they got to Patrick Mahomes today as well. Multiple sacks throughout this game, multiple QB hits. Multiple times was Pat Mahomes' arm hit or the ball was tipped, and they just couldn't get a completion going. The Bills' defense came to play. The pass rush came to play, and the secondary was doing their things on the back end as well. So I was fired up about the performances of the Bills really on both sides of the field. They had a little lull offensively in the first half, and they had a 4th and 17. They let up in the second half, but for the most part, the Buffalo Bills did their job on both sides of the ball today. That's why you subscribe to the channel, man. Sub for Bills dubs. We're going for that number 1 overall seed. It's a logjam at the top of the AFC, but the Bills look to be back to their Super Bowl contending status. 2 huge wins in a row. Subscribe for more. We'll be live for every single Bills game all season long. We're bringing you guys free videos every single week. This is the place for you. If you want free Bills content, you want to be more up to date on the Buffalo Bills than any of your friends, this is the place for you. Subscribe and turn those notifications on for free Bills content all season long. I mean, keep giving the rock to him. Keep giving the rock to James Cook and keep putting him on the field in the game's biggest moments. As a matter of fact, on that 4th and 2, James Cook was not on the field early on in that first half. But then, for the dagger, for the game, or I guess what would have been the game essentially if Matt Prater didn't miss that field goal. 3rd and 3. James Cook was on the football field, and he and Allen hooked up for a nice little check down pass. James Cook beat his defender, and they picked up the first down and should have ended up, kneeing out this game, but they couldn't end up doing that. James Cook was awesome, though. Got a push, but continues to, not only make the offensive line's push worth it, but have the elite ball carrier vision and the ability to knife through defenses to pick up that additional 3 to 4 yards. It just feels like James Cook, if there's a push by the offensive line, there's no doubt that he's picking up at least 5 to 6 yards on every single rush. And when you have Reggie Gilliam out there lead blocking as well, things are going well for this Buffalo Bills team when it comes to running the football. Ty Johnson punched in one of those runs from inside the 5-yard line as well. The Kansas City Chiefs, though, in James Cook, allow their first 100-yard rusher since 2023. December 2023 was the last time they allowed a 100-yard rusher. And they also allowed a 100-yard receiver for the first time in 11 games. 11 games, Chiefs haven't let up a 100-yard receiver. Dalton Kincaid went out there and did it on 6 grabs, including a 23-yard touchdown grab on the Bills' opening drive. Had a really nice catch and run for 47 yards on his longest reception there. That was insane. from Dalton Kincaid, constantly picking up first downs. The Chiefs linebackers could not guard Dalton Kincaid, and he continues to be by far and away the best separator on this Buffalo Bills team. Because when you look at what the Bills did in their receiving room, it's a lot left to be desired. Elijah Moore had that nice grab down the field that set up the Bills' last touchdown in this game. That was awesome. Khalil Shakir, 7 grabs for 43 yards. There was a lot of stuff around the line of scrimmage, and eventually they started to sniff out the screen passes that the Bills were doing there. So Shakir was not really much of a factor. Keon Coleman really did not do much either. Curtis Samuel, really nothing. And Tyrell Shavers did not record a catch. So the Bills really continue to struggle at the wide receiver spot. Luckily, they really got a nice performance from their tight end group today, which also included Dawson Knox, who got some nice grabs in there, a catch for 30 yards from him. And then Jackson Hawes was picking up picked up a first down as well, an 18-yard grab on a Josh Allen scramble. So when this offense runs through its tight ends rather than its receivers, good things are happening for this Buffalo Bills offense. So with the result that you saw today, with the way that the Buffalo Bills played this football game, what does it tell you? Does it tell you that the Bills can beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? If so, go down to the comment section and type Y right here, right now. Type Y for yes, type N for no on whether or not the Bills can beat the Chiefs when it comes time for January and this team to match up with them in the postseason. Because if they get to play like they did from this secondary today, they're going to go out there and beat the Chiefs and go out there and make a Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years. They're going to go out there and do it if they can continue to get play like they are from Cole Bishop. Back-to-back really solid games from him. And I hate to put down a guy who's injured here in Taylor Rapp, but when Cole Bishop's not lining up next to Taylor Rapp, he looks like an entirely different player. And he did in this game, man. Four PBUs. Unreal. Lit up Travis Kelce, which honestly almost banged up his shoulder right before the half. But on that third down that made the Chiefs kick a field goal, by the way, they held the Chiefs to 3 points when they could have allowed 7 on the goal line right before the half. Cole Bishop lit up Travis Kelce in the back of the end zone. Awesome stuff. He was flying around the field today. By far his best game as a Buffalo Bill, and what better opponent to have it against than the Kansas City Chiefs. Awesome stuff from Cole Bishop. And we also saw the first career interception from Max Hairston. Bills might have had a hit in the first round of the NFL draft. Very awesome stuff to see from Hairston here, tracking down a long ball, a heave from Patrick Mahomes down the field to Xavier Worthy, who, honestly, guys, Max Hairston was running step for step with all game long. Made him look like a normal speed guy. Both these guys ran sub 340s at the NFL Combine, and Xavier Worthy, who has a ton of NFL experience already, was just kind of locked up by a rookie cornerback in Max Hairston. That's the reason that you drafted Hairston here to Buffalo. He made life hell for Xavier Worthy today. I cannot wait to see more from Max Hairston here. We already saw a great open field tackle in his debut against Carolina. Now we're seeing the turnovers being created in the secondary. Love what we got from Max Hairston in this game. We're going to talk, after all this great news that the Buffalo Bills have gotten, unfortunately, we have to talk about the bad news the Bills got on the defensive side of the football. We'll talk about that just around the corner. First, though, I got to tell you guys about these awesome deals over at chatsports.com/Buffalo sale. All these sick Bills graphic tees are discounted right now, and sizes and styles are still in stock. There's also way more than the ones that I'm showing you popping up on screen right now. These are just a couple of my favorite designs that they have. This retro one, this one of Josh diving for the pylon in the snow. You can get all these and more at chatsports.com/Buffalo sale. Get yours today here as they're flying off the shelves, and once they're gone, because that's kind of why they are on sale here. That link's in the comment section and description of today's video. Alrighty, we got to talk about the bad injury news here. Michael Hoecht had to exit this game with quite a bad injury, to be honest with you guys. Sean McDermott confirmed in the postgame a torn Achilles for Michael Hoecht. Had half a sack in this game, had a QB hit, had 2 tackles. And just when the Bills' pass rush starts looking elite, we get thrown this. A torn Achilles for Michael Hoecht. Had a sack and a half against Carolina. Had a forced fumble as well. I mean, this guy injected life into this Buffalo Bills defense. Guys are rallying around Michael Hoecht as a voice and player in this locker room. And now he goes down. Like, if you just think about the player that this guy is, like, it's insane. He popped his Achilles, for God's sakes. It was on a rush. He just took his first step, and then it was the wrong way he stepped, and it ended up popping there. But this guy didn't even go to the locker room. The cart was coming out after he hopped to the sideline and sat on the bench. And this guy waved it off to stay out there with his team, with his teammates. Teammates were coming over to the sideline and hugging him, showing him love and all that stuff. But this really sucks for a Bills pass rush that was really just starting to put it together. Ed Oliver goes out with injury. Michael Hoecht now going out with injury. And, I mean, the Bills could be looking at a situation where they may have to look at trading for a defensive lineman now in the next 2 days. I mean, Landon Jackson, their third-round rookie, is getting healthy scratches every week. Maybe this is the time for him to go out there and play some real ball. But they may have to look at trading for a defensive lineman now. With the injuries to Ed Oliver, with the injury to Michael Hoecht, like, you got to be able to get a pass rush. What we saw from the Bills today was they were getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes. What we didn't see from the Bills in the AFC Championship game that they lost is that they could not get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Well, Michael Hoecht has one of the best pressure rates in the league last week, and he continued to get pressure on Mahomes today while he was out there. Now he's not going to be out there anymore. Neither is Ed Oliver. Bills may have to go look out and trade for a defensive lineman, whether it be on the interior or at the edge at this point. Show some love to Michael Hoecht down in the comment section. Type his jersey number 55 down below. This really sucks. It's just classic Bills. Right when things go right, they just go really wrong very, very quickly after. Show him some love. Comment 55. Throw some hearts down there for him, as that will do it for today's show. We'll talk about who the Bills could potentially replace Michael Hoecht with here with the trade deadline just 2 days away. That's why you subscribe to the channel. We'll be giving you guys more Bills updates as the season goes along. Injuries, trades, whatever goes, roster moves, whatever happens around your Buffalo Bills, we're going to bring it to you right here on the Bills Breakdown. That's why you subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow morning. And as always, let's go Buffalo.